suppression of media freedom by William Ruto and this rogue administration. Today, I'm concerned as you are on the threats to the media and freedom of expression, media freedom in East Africa and in particular here in Kenya and Uganda as we approach the 2027 general elections. We have had a bad pattern in Kenya that ahead of general elections, journalists and bloggers get targeted by unpopular regimes that fear the power of the people at the ballot. Some journalists or bloggers are either disappear, they are silenced, compromised, or killed altogether. It is shameful that those stifling the media are on a barrage of attacks on the media are a product of the media and freedom of expression in Kenya. But for this regime led by a crooked dictator, learning from his counterparts in East Africa, it is worse. Journalists covering corruption stories, abuse of the rule of law, wanton looting of public resources, and other beats, and who have refused to be silenced, unintimidated, or corrupted by the state, live under perpetual fear, intimidation, and daily threats from the state machinery. Media houses that are firm on their independent editorial policy have not been spared either. Notably, on 25th June 2026, in the full glare of cameras, we witnessed a police officer throw kicks at a journalist in Nairobi streets for no apparent reason. Further, on 26th June 2026, 4 armed men believed to be police officers from the dreaded killer squad, Nairobi Sierra, armed with AK-47 assault rifles, attempted to abduct the Standard Group Nakuru-based associate editor, Mr. Nixon Kiprotich in Nakuru. This failed. It is saddening and painfully unbearable that on 24th and 25th June 2026, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, Mr. William Ruto, on his official X account, launched a barrage of scathing attacks on the independence of the Standard Media Group. This was after a series of uncomfortable stories about this regime, and more painfully to him was the story on William Ruto gallery of lies. This attack is an open defiance to truth and total war on the freedom of media as stipulated under Article 34 of our Constitution. I am aware that the journalist Vera Morara, who did these stories at the trail by security forces 24 hours every day, and if anything happens to Vera, William Ruto must be held to account. Mr. William Ruto, the media does not live under your mercy or privilege. If you think the media is your enemy, you are mistaken. Wait for August 10th next year. It is further alarming that some few days ago, journalists attached to MediaMax Limited were sanctioned for physical and online bullying by state operatives and bloggers. Their safety and privacy were compromised and exposed. Notably, Kameme Radio journalists Muthoni wa Kirumba and Gatonye wa Mbugua were, among others, have been threatened and exposed to verbal and physical abuse from political class and other undercover security agencies. Particularly, President Ruto's advisor on the persecution of the mountain region, Moses Kuria, has given threats to Muthoni wa Kirumba, and if anything happens to Muthoni wa Kirumba, Moses Kuria and William Ruto must be held to account. Those behaviors being learned from the East African dictators will not be played here in Kenya. I must say for the record, Kenya is not Uganda and Kenya is not Tanzania. But more importantly, we are aware and informed of William Ruto's plans to shut down some media houses, cripple others through the government advertising agency financially, and slow down and eventually shut the internet on the 10th of August 2027. But let us remember, on 3rd May every year since 1993, the world marks the Press Freedom Day as ratified by the United Nations General Assembly. It is not only that 3rd May is the only day we celebrate and observe media freedom, but every day we must observe and honor the media as the fourth estate. In our country, Kenya, press freedom is not a privilege granted by the state, but a right recognized under our Constitution. Article 33 and 34 of our Constitution gives the right to freedom of expression and freedom of the media respectively. Our Constitution has not changed, and those who believe in the dark days must be reminded accordingly. It is not about what you like in the media, but the truth. Further, I strongly condemn the closure of NTV Uganda, Spark TV, and Daily Monitor by Uganda's military chief, General Muhoozi, who is the son of Kaguta Museveni. He is a close confidant of William Ruto, and by association, Ruto is part and parcel of this shutdown. The pattern of media crackdown can be seen even by those who have challenges in seeing. I strongly urge the East African press councils to stand firm and remain vigilant as the three known East African dictators flex their retrogressive incivility on the further state. I also urge journalists to remain firm and remain so. In all this, neither William Ruto nor any officer in his government has spoken against this. This clearly confirms that William Ruto and Kaguta Museveni are Siamese twins in media suppression. The freedoms we enjoy today were not given on a silver platter. Kenyans fought for them. We have sunk a higher lower through this regime. Even international media houses are being threatened and sanctioned against airing certain stories. This has never been seen. I have been informed in confidence that some top journalists and editors have been marked for crackdown and silenced by this regime. I have personally reached out to some of them, and within the week I will reach out to the rest. If anything happens to any journalist in Kenya, whether a foreigner or a resident, this government must be held to account. And Rigathi Gachagua will remain very, very vigilant and will be available to call out on any threat to any journalist in Kenya. I want to assure journalists wherever they are that they have my full support, and I'll be there for them at this very difficult time. If this government thinks that their problem is the media, this is the biggest lie they are living in. The problem is not the media. It is fake promises, failure, lies, a failing economy, failed systems, poor service delivery, corruption, abuse of the rule of law, abductions, extrajudicial killings, and total failure of government. William Ruto, please leave journalists alone. Leave the media houses alone. Do not take us back to the dark days of the 80s and the 90s. It is unbelievable that in the era of information technology, artificial intelligence, and citizen journalism, the state can sit down and think of how to silence the media. This is when schools have no classrooms and hospitals have no drugs, even painkillers. William Ruto, you have captured all institutions. You have punctured the opposition immediately after you got into power. Please leave the 55 million Kenyans with the media as their last line of defense. I call on all media houses, the journalists and the editors to stand in solidarity with one another. Do not be cowed. Do not be threatened or intimidated. Stand firm and speak the truth for the people of Kenya. You are the last line of defense for the 55 million Kenyans. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, as you observe your code of ethics to report elections, be forthright and do not allow the state to capture or subvert the will of the people. The Kenya Editors Guild must stand firm and protect the editorial independence. You must shield your members and stand for Kenya. Your members must be safe and their rights must be protected. Please do not let the excesses of this regime kill your journalism. I call on the United Nations and the intergovernmental bodies that protect journalists not to shut their eyes on Kenya and Uganda as we witness targeted assault on the members of the further state. A society must endure without a government for a while, but no free society can endure without a free media. Finally, I ask the 55 million Kenyans not to relate this assault on the media. After this clueless regime is done with the media, they'll come for you. So please don't just start by as the media is being intimidated and tormented. Thank you very much. Kwacha kweli ya hii